What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hardhat Highlights, episode number 24, which is hosted on our YouTube channel called Glass Guy. We'd be so grateful if you subscribe, like, comment, and share. But on this Hardhat Highlights, Jay and I often talk about some of our wins and losses that we have during the work week. And then, of course, Jason has scoured the internet for the latest trending and quirky topics for us to kind of unpack. Again, please, we'd love your subscription. But without further ado, Jason Ryback, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. We got a lot of exciting stuff today. On today's episode, we discuss the impacts of greedy ownership,
self-driving cars gone wrong,
dealing with the New Year gym frauds.
And then, of course, we dive down the rabbit hole of what the hell is going on in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
I think we're going to start a new segment.
How's it look?
How's your mic?
My mic's good.
Okay. So this is our new segment. This is where we put our tin hats on and try and go down this rabbit hole and unpack what is going on in LA. Jay, why don't you kick it off?
Where do we begin? I mean, first you've got, obviously LA and in Southern California is known for these fires they get all the time. But this year it's really weird. Like, it seems like they're almost picking and choosing certain affluent places. Like, you had them in Malibu, Pacific Palisades. You had the Hollywood Hills, and then Studio City. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I mean,
well, hold on. Come on. Let's unpack some of the weird stuff. Because I remember you telling me this when these fires were happening in Hawaii. Like, there was a lot of weird stuff with these, like, blue roofs.
Yeah, so in Hawaii, there was a lot weird going on there, and there was a lot of conspiracy theories that came out of this. One was that the government was somehow using direct energy weapons.
Like lasers?
Like laser beams.
Stop humping the laser.
And so people went so far as to show these lasers would go and they'd put different color articles in. Lasers would go and burn every color except for blue. And if you look at the fires in Hawaii, many of the houses that maybe had blue roofs just weren't touched.
So fire all around it.
Fire all around it. So it thus spawned the conspiracy theory, right? Now fast forward here, and we see all these celebrities that are losing their homes. And there was a 81-page gallery, and I think it was Daily Mail, talking about all the different celebrities, showing pictures of their homes and stuff. And one of the things that stood out is John Goodman's was definitely one of the houses. I can't remember the other one. If it may have been Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, Silence
But
of the
they show
Lambs.
that the house is completely gone. Everything is
ashes.
Gone. Ashes.
Looks
I
like
mean,
an
there's
ashtray.
a couple 2x4s sticking up here and there, and that's it. But what still is there is the blue recycle bin, completely untouched.
Come on.
I swear to God. We'll post those pictures up here. It's crazy.
So you got the house that's burnt to the ground, the car that's in the driveway burnt to the ground, all the grass around burnt to the ground, but then without not melting or touched at all is the blue recycling bin.
The plastic blue recycle bin was not touched.
Conspiracy?
A little weird. And then you've got all of the backlash going towards the governing bodies there.
Especially the governor. I saw some stuff on TikTok with that where a woman kind of cornered him getting out of a car. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And she says, they're turning on the fire hydrants, but no water's coming out. Which, that's actually really disturbing because think about it. Firefighter is signed up to put his life on the line. Now, goes out to a fire where his life will potentially be on the line.
Right.
And the only tool that they really have to save their life and everyone else's is water. That's supposed to be plentiful. Like, they have all the hose and everything, but a firefighter can't do anything without the water.
That's right.
As far as, putting the fire out. And so when they're turning on what I used to know as a yellow fire hydrant, a lot of them are
I think those are a little
colors.
Pretty over there now.
Yeah, they're prettier. But there's no water in them.
Yeah.
And can you imagine?
Well, at least they look good.
Well, to some. I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder. What do you think is going through the firefighter's mind when they because they do this fast. They pull the wrench off, they screw on, the hose. They go ahead and turn the water, and it's nothing.
I'd be surprised if we don't see mass resignations.
Somebody should be getting fired for this. I can tell you that. I don't know what the excuse is, but this being that close to the ocean and with all the technology and advancements we've had in every industry, I find it hard to believe in this day and age that there's just not enough water out there to go to the fire hydrants.
Well, supposedly, the reason for the water not being available is that it was diverted somehow to a Native American reservation to help protect the smelt, the fish.
That sounds. I don't understand.
Well, the fish get to live now.
Why can't they do both?
Good question.
That's unbelievable.
Good question. There's a lot. There's also talks of supposedly the mayor had cut like $17 million from the fire department's budget, and you're seeing a lot of this backlash from the very people who voted for these.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I hate to say it, but sometimes situations like this have to happen. And by the way, we don't make light. I mean, we're making light of it, but anybody that literally was living in a house that was burnt down, I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible. There's no reason for that in this day and age.
No, nobody deserves that.
However, let's dive into some of the next level conspiracy, like this next one that you told me about. I really like this one.
So which one?
The hockey.
Well, no, we got to talk. We got to talk more here. You even brought up the insurance aspect of it.
Okay. I was going to cap on that. I saw a story recently of a gentleman that was paying for his homeowner's insurance and had been paying for 38 years straight and had never placed a claim.
Really?
Which, that's saying something.
Yeah,
he's probably got a ton of money. His insurance
maybe
premium,
self-insured
for everything.
Kind of
yes,
off the
exactly.
books.
Unless there's something crazy going on, I'm not going to touch it because A, I don't want to get dropped, and 2, I don't want my rates to go up.
Okay.
Which is smart.
So what happened?
A week before the fires started, his insurance company out of nowhere dropped him with no reasons. Yeah, I was digging into it. There was no reason. They're just saying we're electing to go in a different direction and dropped him.
That's not the only story like that. This is obviously the first I've heard of something that a week before, but there's a lot of stories out there of people being dropped within the past 6 months all over California.
I understand insurance companies. I don't like it, but I understand insurance companies, like if all of a sudden you've put in 10 claims and they're upside down on your plan because of all these claims.
Yep.
Again, I don't think it's right, but I understand why they would want to drop somebody, or somebody's got a bad record and it's just a massive liability. You don't want to take the business. But this guy epitomizes what insurance companies are looking for. Somebody's got a lot of money and never uses his insurance. And they drop him the week before. It's almost like they knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, like this guy's the golden goose and you're going to cut him loose.
He's your money in perpetuity for 38 years. He's never used his insurance.
That's insane.
And so to get rid of them, I think there's a little bit something more to it.
So there's other things out there. First of all, have you seen in between a lot of these houses, and I'm not a fire science major or anything, so I couldn't tell you why this is happening, but a lot of the areas surrounding these houses, you're seeing trees, and the trees are untouched. The leaves are untouched. There's nothing. And 2 feet away, there's a completely burnt house, which seems a little odd. Like at least maybe the leaves could be a little charred or, something. It just seems strange. But there's also a lot of reports. As a matter of fact, somebody that we respect actually submitted a complaint, Andrew Huberman.
Oh.
They're seeing people purposely lighting these fires. So arsonists. And something else came out just today. I saw that they believe that a lot of these arsons are happening because they're foreign gangs that have come into the country and they're trying to get people out of their home and they're looting their houses.
I mean, what a way to get people to run out of there, especially that thing screams out of control. You hear, oh, it's another fire. But when I started seeing some of the videos, I was like, fuck, this is scary shit.
Yeah.
Especially if you get circled in and trapped. Like, you think you could be fine, and maybe you're hosing down your roof in the front of your yard, and all of a sudden the fire's all around you and it just starts closing in.
I guess the moral of the story here is at what point does it stop becoming coincidence?
A lot of people don't believe in coincidences. It's like, it's either
an
act of God or it was malicious intent.
Okay, if Someone who doesn't believe in coincidences, I want to know what they call this. So when Hurricane Milton came through Tampa, the Tampa Bay Lightning had a game they were scheduled to play. It got postponed. They were playing Carolina, the Carolina Hurricanes. So fast forward a couple days ago, the LA Kings are scheduled to play. Their game got postponed. Guess who they were playing?
Calgary.
The Calgary Flames.
Come on. So, okay, we can figure out the odds. The odds of two teams playing, there's probably 32, 35 teams in each, in the league. So you got a 1 in 35. But then the likelihood of them playing them on that day when the hurricane's happening or the fire's happening and to be on the schedule in that city with that name.
Yeah.
It's got to be astronomical. And then to happen twice.
Yeah, twice in the same year.
That's odd.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here in 2024, 2025, and I think these things are getting to our head. We're going to have to part with them for a little bit.
I will say, though, I like to keep these tinfoil hats intact, maybe for some future
Absolutely.
podcasts. I kind of like going down. I love conspiracy theories, especially the moon landing.
Well, I certainly hope with all the environmental policy in LA that they're not using self-driving fire trucks, too.
Oh, yeah. I saw that with the self-driving car going in the circle. Which one was this?
Mike
Jones?
Mike Johns, an LA tech bro, was in Phoenix and decided to head to the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport and utilize a self-driving taxi. When he arrived, he was delayed quite a bit out in the parking lot because the self-driving taxi kept driving in circles.
I saw that. It was just going around in the parking lot.
There's a video of it. It's insane. The guy's sitting there and the car's just going around the parking lot, going around, and he couldn't get out.
Okay, there's two parts of this that I want to talk about. One, I am still scared about the self-driving car, the drone, plane. All that stuff's too new for me to want to be a part of its growth pattern because bad things are going to happen when you're kind of perfecting something new like this.
Well, put it this way, right? A lot of us have a hard time trusting. Like I don't like driving with you. Like I'll just be straightforward. I don't like driving with you. It's a little scary. So to put your life in the hands of something that is a complete unknown, that could malfunction at any minute it's a little scary.
It's a lot scary. But I also want to say I watched a video of Mike Jones in the back of that car because he was taking a selfie for himself.
Yeah.
And when you hear him talking to the person, by the way, when the car's going around in circles, if you haven't seen it, it's in a parking lot, so the car isn't doing 40 miles an hour.
Not donuts or anything.
Yeah, he's not pressed, face plastering up against the window. It's going 5 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour. But you could hear in the tone of his voice, like almost like I've recognized that I'm safe, I'm inconvenienced, and this is a problem. Maybe I'm a little scared because I'm uncertain what's going to happen. But I'm getting dizzy. Like, it was almost sounding like he was setting up for a lawsuit, to be honest with you. Like, it was a pseudo distress call, but not distressed. You can hear a lot in his tone.
Well, are you sure the car didn't read his telemetry to tell if he was dizzy or not?
Yeah, that's right. I heard him talking to a customer service rep. She's like, we're working on it. We're working on it.
That's not what you want to hear when you got a flight to catch and you can't get out of the car. So supposedly the car ended up pulling over, right? It quote unquote temporarily paused and he finally got out of there. But can you imagine just being out on the road though? Just forget being in the parking lot. What if you're out on the road and the car just decides it wants to do whatever the hell it wants?
Yeah,
so it not only endangers you, it endangers others.
Of course. Yeah, it's scary. I'm not ready for that. I like the idea, but I think we're still a little ways away.
Yeah, I think, it's a novel idea. I just don't think the world's ready for it yet.
Speaking of novel ideas.
Yeah, do you ever find yourself telling yourself, I spend so much time here, I might as well sleep here?
I feel that way at work.
Well, yeah, that's number one place probably.
But not at a place where I shop.
Well, that soon may be a reality.
Mm-hmm. Break it down.
Costco is now putting an 800-unit apartment complex above one of their warehouses in LA. Now, the idea behind it is to provide more low-income housing for the area, with utilizing land that's,
being unused.
Being unused, basically. Yes.
It's not residential. It's probably zone commercial.
Yes. So it begs the question. First of all, if you're building apartment complexes on top of a business, right? How many of those people are going to frequent the business? One. What is that going to do to the economics of the business? Because in this case, it's low-income housing. No, not that there's a knock on that or anything, but does that now allow them to spend more at Costco because they have more money in their pocket and they're there? Or what's going on? What is the impact there? Additionally, you got to think about the...
Well, I can tell you, let's not knock the low-income people.
Yeah.
Let's take you and I, and let's say Doug and Bryce in our adolescence age, and our parents elected to get apartments here. Do you think that Costco staff and or customers would be happy knowing that we were running around that place on a Saturday and Sunday doing whatever the hell we want? Because think about it, when we were young, you went out in the woods and you light a fire, you chop a tree down, you make a fort.
So you get away with shit. We're
making bike ramps in the back off the dumpster and stealing people's hood ornaments out of the parking lot off their cars. I like the premise. I don't necessarily know that I like the idea. And from a safety standpoint, what if it's for the workers though?
Well, that would be something different. It'd be workforce housing, right? Yeah. Arthrex has that here.
Man, their stuff's nice.
Yeah,
they even got a hotel over there. It's like, it's right up there with the Ritz.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. Let
me ask you something. If you could live above any store, what would it be?
I don't think the easy one, like what comes to my mind first would be a restaurant, but I get freaked out after a while with smell. Like if all of a sudden you just caught a whiff and it was bad, now that just never leaves you. It's always going to be there.
Right.
So I'm thinking I would want to be somewhere that I don't have to travel. Maybe a bank.
Okay. All right. I guess you could do that.
Yeah, you see the different customers that are coming in, maybe potential opportunities for doing business.
So not like Adam and Eve or anything like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Why? Where were you thinking? Where would you live?
No, I think if I could do that, it probably my initial would be Bass Pro.
Oh.
Now that's as I am now. If I were single and younger,
tell us where you're going to be if you were single.
Oh, I would definitely be Target.
Oh, okay.
I mean, think about it. That's just a meat market of financially irresponsible divorcees.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. That's funny.
Well, I'm sure living above a place like Costco, there would be no shortage of food. Perhaps they should have a gym there, too.
Oh, that would be a good idea, living above a gym. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Well, maybe not this gym. If it's anything like the Ascendancy Fitness in Cheshire, England, you might have to wait a while.
Yeah, I like it.
You saw what happened here?
Yeah, I like it.
The owner has decided to pause new memberships for the month of January.
Yeah.
Why is that, you ask?
I think I know why.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably got enough data, and historically everybody knows this. These are New Year's resolutions. The gym gets flooded with people. Probably 75 to 80% of the people that sign up in January are going to be gone in February.
Zero intent of staying.
Yeah. And so now the owner realizes I run the risk of pissing off my year-round members that are committed to this, because now you get this flock of new people coming to make the gym dirty. There's no gym etiquette. They can't get on their machines. It just kind of fucking throws everything off.
Speaking of etiquette, have you seen some of the shit that these people do?
No.
These newbies?
Oh, yeah.
Like some of the ways they use the equipment?
There's all types of videos of people doing just the craziest, like Batman pulling themselves
Yeah, what
up.
are you training for, a porn? We're going to have to put some of those videos up here.
I wonder if any of those people in the gym end up getting any road rage.
Oh, I'm sure there were more than a few angry newbies that drove away from that place. But I bet the road rage was nothing like this next story. A man in Glen Burnie, Maryland, was returning home from a trip out of town. On his way home, he got cut off by a vehicle. Instead of doing what you and I would have done, he memorized the license plate number. He then went to his local liquor store, purchased 10 $1 Pick 5 lottery tickets, utilizing the same combination of numbers from that license plate.
So the guy that cut him off, that we would normally flip off and yell at or toot the horn, this guy said, no, I'm going to memorize his license plate number. I'm going to pull off at the next gas station. I'm going to get 5 $1 quick pick, but I'm going to use the license plate numbers.
Well, they're not quick pick. He picked the numbers.
Oh, he picked the numbers.
Pick 5 was the name of the lottery.
So he picked 5 number, happened to have 5 digits on the license plate, and then he bought 5 of the same ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So his way is, okay, maybe the universe is telling me something. Instead of getting mad at this guy, I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'm going to go play the lottery with his license plate. What happened?
It's a good thing he listened to the universe, because he woke up the next morning and he found that he won $50,000 on each ticket.
Oh, what's that, $250,000?
$500,000.
5 tickets.
10 tickets.
Oh, he bought 10
$50,000.
decks. Oh, wow. $500,000. Yeah, I could, I'd gladly give up a few middle fingers and F-bombs for $500,000.
100%. Imagine how much money we could have won over the years.
Billionaire by now.
Thankfully, this man was aware enough to, A, remember the numbers, and B, check his tickets.
Why wouldn't you check your ticket?
Well, someone in Ohio could learn from him.
Oh?
A $138 million prize was returned to the state after going unclaimed for more than 6 months.
Come on.
Apparently, this ticket was pulled in June, and they had a deadline of December 30th to claim the prize. Nobody came forward and claimed the prize, for all the money got returned to the state. Can you imagine just, rustling through your drawers one day and like, oh, I got some lottery tickets. I should check if they're winners.
When you first read this story and told me about it in pre-show, when we were going over it, I'm thinking, what fucking asshole would know that I intentionally bought a ticket for a $138 million pot and not even sniffed at the ticket in the first couple days? But then I started thinking about it. Sometimes, let's say you went out and bought, hey, I'm going, yeah, give me one, and you throw it on my desk, and before you know it gets buried with shit. I could kind of see possibly a couple days going by, but it's only a matter of time before I see that and say, hey, why don't I just check this ticket while I'm here?
Right. So yeah, at some point you have to check it, right? Especially within 6 months, right?
Yeah, and usually they'll say there was a winning ticket. Yeah. And they'll even say the store.
At that point, it's like, oh, fuck, I better check this.
I was at that store.
Yeah. So you ever wonder where that money goes?
I thought the lottery was kind of masked as a education department thing.
Yeah, so that is just it. But 1.9 million of it went to the state of Ohio, and the rest of it went to support education within the state.
So
perhaps they
136 million went back to education, to support education in the state.
Yeah, that's a lot of cheese, huh? Perhaps they could give some money to LeBron's school.
What's wrong with LeBron's school?
It's been a lot like his career. It's done nothing but flop.
The school's a toilet?
You could say that.
Not good.
Speaking of windfalls, did you see the Bucs game this past weekend?
Oh, man, that was exciting.
Mike Evans?
There's a lot to unpack with this.
So, for those of you who did not see this, I was fortunate enough to be at the game.
That's right.
And Mike Evans has started his career as a wide receiver with 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, the only player in history ever to do that. There is a streak of 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. It's not to start a career, but 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons held by Jerry Rice. Mike Evans was vying to tie for that. He needed 85 yards for the game. He had 82 yards late in the fourth quarter. They were driving down the field. They were probably about the 15-yard line, handed the ball off. Bucky Irving ran it in for a touchdown. So there's a minute and change left on the clock. At that point, everyone in the stadium saying, Mike's not getting this.
Because they would just be kneeling the ball down to kill the clock.
So, well, the chance of them even getting the ball back
is slim. Because they scored and it was going back to the other team.
The defense got the ball back with about 38 seconds left. And my immediate reaction is like, okay, the playoffs are on the line. The NFC South Championship is on the line here. If we win, we win the NFC South and you're in the playoffs. You lose, you go home. Or potentially. A couple other teams would have to do some things, right?
Right, but your destiny's in your own hand.
Absolutely. So you're up by 8 points now with 38 seconds left. Instead of kneeling it out, they drew up a play, and I found out later the
I got
coaches
chills.
did this because I thought this was an audible called by Baker Mayfield, the quarterback.
Saying to his wide receiver, like, dude, I got you.
I'm going to get, because there was $3.66 million on the line. So they drew up a play where they felt he could not get double covered and hit him for a 9-yard pass. Ended the game winning $3.66 million and tying a record.
I love the story because it gives us a side to pick and talk about, do you think it was the right decision? Because you have all the fans that are dying to go to the playoffs.
Yes.
And taking this chance on helping your star wide receiver who's committed to being there since the beginning of his tenure. His
entire career, yeah.
His entire career has been with one team. But that one pass to that one player, if it went wrong, it tipped up, pick six, go for two, they could end up losing. I know it's
not just that.
Not likely, but
everybody in the entire stadium, including the opposing team, knew where it was going.
Because of this, yeah.
So it was
Could
remarkable
you hear
that
the
that
buzz
even happened.
going
Oh
around
my God,
the
you could
stadium?
feel it. The girl in front of me started crying. It was pretty intense. Now, it makes you wonder what the front office thinks about that. Obviously, the coaches were behind it. We found out later on. But it's like, hey, you're throwing away my money here. But on the flip side, you see what Jerry Jones did?
Yeah.
That very same day.
Go ahead.
So Jerry Jones had Cooper Rush starting at quarterback since the beginning of the season.
How about them boys?
And we all know Jerry's, control freak, right? He says he's the GM.
Owner and GM.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Which,
so,
by the way, I don't have a problem with that.
no, of course not. It's your money. You can do what you want.
If we sold $1 trillion worth of glass and we didn't have to do this anymore, and you had enough money to buy your own football team, and you've already reached the pinnacle of your success, wouldn't you want to run your own football? Even though someone could probably do it better, it's your team. You have the opportunity to say, I won the Super Bowl.
100%.
So I get why he does that.
It's like millionaire fantasy football.
Yeah,
basically, right?
That's a billionaire, but yes.
Yeah. So anyhow, Cooper Rush was up for an incentive for playing, I believe it was 70% of the snaps for the year. He would get $500,000 incentive, which for a backup quarterback like that, that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
They benched him. They didn't play him.
What two polar opposites? Because if an organization is willing to put their season on the line to help out one player, who, by the way, is probably one of the highest paid people on the team as it is.
Yeah.
So it's like he doesn't even really need that. But it does show their commitment to him by willing to do that.
And I think it was more of the personal accolade than it was the money for him anyways, but yeah.
To be better than Jerry Rice, or at least have that record over Jerry Rice. But then on the flip side of that, you have an owner that says, like, we don't give two shits about this guy's incentive.
Yeah, so now it begs the question, was that a smart business decision? Because now you're saving $500,000 here, right? Which obviously, the goal is to make money, right? But what does that do to the franchise moving forward? Now, our free agent's going to be like, fuck that, I'm not going there.
Yeah, he's not ever going to believe in me. And how does it, do the fans, the Dallas Cowboy fans, like this or not? We'd like to hear that. Throw it in the comments because I'm sure we're going to clip this up. We want to know, do you think Jerry Jones did the right move by benching Cooper Rush and making sure he didn't get his incentive on that last game of the season?
You know what it is? It's actually setting culture.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. And as we know, culture is everything within the business.
Everything. So kudos to the Bucs for doing that. And Jerry, not so good.
No, he had his time.
Well, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. It's rush hour.
Wait, let's put these back on for the closing.
Okay.
I like these.
Okay.
Probably won't see them for a while.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, I got to go. It's rush hour. And if I'm going to have any chance of winning the lottery, I need to get out there now. If you need me this weekend, I'll be outside painting my roof blue.
Make sure it doesn't go on fire. Thank you for joining us.